you are going to die. Game over, man! Game over! Yeah, I couldn't help myself. Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So, one day you're going to die. One day. Yeah, we all do. Alright guys, so today's topic is going to be on our nuclear power plants, okay? Part of SFTF scenarios that we go through as preppers, one of the biggest things that we keep seeing here and talking about in forums is our nuclear power plants. What's going to happen when they explode? Well, for one, they're not going to explode like in a giant nuclear bomb that a lot of people have been portraying, okay? And there's this theory that's ran around for a few years about something called the China syndrome. When the nuclear fuel rods melt down, they will melt through the earth all the way to China. That's not true. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the facts of nuclear power plants. And yes, is it a SFTF scenario that we should be prepared for? Of course. But let's talk about the facts and the systems and what are the possibilities of these things melting down. Okay, so as of April 2020, there are 95 operational commercial nuclear reactors here in America alone. That is 58 nuclear power plants in a total of 29 states. Worldwide, there is over 440 nuclear reactors. That's a lot. All right. Now, we got some pop-ups here for you guys, kind of showing you the countries that have nuclear reactors across the world. Yeah, some of these countries, I'm not thrilled about them even having, but still, the reason I bring this up, so there's a lot of different scenarios. One of them, if all of them melted down, what would happen? Well, it would be the largest known disaster to ever hit the human race. The radiation that gets released, it'll be around for a very long time. It might actually be a human race extinction level event if every single one of these went meltdown. But will they all go meltdown? Let's talk about that. Now, one of the first things I want to address. One, I've done a lot of research in this because I don't want to give out misinformation on this. Like I said, this is a threat. Is it a high-level threat? Depends on what you're preparing for. Now, let's go with the very first threat of a grid down scenario, a blackout, all right? Grid down. The rumor is if nuclear power plants don't have powers, they're going to melt down. Okay, so let's take this step by step. First one would be a localized event. Let's say cyber hack was to happen, and the external power source, our power grid, running to that power plant was shut off. Would there be a meltdown? No. And here's why. Each nuclear power plant has an internal power supply. It can run off of its own power that it generates. So if it is a localized event and the external power is shut off, they actually produce enough power to keep a nuclear power plant running. All right. Now, let's say that was to cease. Let's say it stopped. They had no way of generating power for whatever reason. They have emergency generators, and these are not your little Harbor Freight jobs like we have. They have many of those on hand. Then they have larger generators if those fail. Okay? Now, this is a grid down scenario as in cyber hack. One of the biggest fears and concerns for preppers is once the fuel runs out for these generators, we're going to have a meltdown. All right, so if it's a cyber hack or just a localized grid down in an area, they can truck in fuel to run those generators. Now, those generators pump water into a steam generator. They are constantly circulating water through the reactor core and also the fuel pools. That's the large pools. It's roughly 30 degrees Fahrenheit that keeps the spent fuel rods from heating up. Those are the real dangers. All right, so with that in mind, they have a way of generating power. If their generators were to go down, they also have a battery backup, okay? So, for a localized event or a cyber attack that would mess up or shut down computers, they still have the ability to manually do things and get water into their system, okay? So, that one there is a false threat. A lot of people is worried about it. Let's go ahead and put that one to rest. There's plenty of research material out there. You just have to sit down and look at it. Next up, Right fast, guys, I would like to talk about one of our affiliate programs here on the channel. The best way to protect your family is being prepared. Not only is Legacy Premium the best value in food storage, but it is also the best tasting and most nutritious. Up to a 25-year shelf life and free shipping on all orders, Legacy Food is a go-to for long-term emergency foods. Not only are we affiliated with Legacy Food Storage, we actually use them for our emergency long-term food preps. Legacy Food has the lowest cost per pound, voted the best tasting, a 25-year shelf life, non-GMO, gluten-free options, and yes, it's made here in the USA. So guys, if you want to help support the channel and support yourself with long-term food storage, check out our affiliate links in the description. Okay, so let's go with the next event. A coronal mass ejection the size of the Carrington in X-class solar flare, or an EMP. Both would fry electronics, both would shut down our fuel delivery systems in this country. There would be a lot of issues as far as anything moving or anything being delivered to a nuclear power plant. Now, would this be a greater threat? Yes. Now, I want to let you know that when the power shuts down at these plants, they have things set up to shut down nuclear fusion within like a second. So it will stop. Now, keeping that in mind, they can manually pump water into those reactors, well, roughly about 5 days, and then they can remove those fuel rods and put them into the cooling pools. Now, the cooling pools is those storage facilities that they have all those, it's a huge swimming pool looking thing. It's like 75 feet deep. They're huge. All right, now, keeping that in mind, they can cool those reactors down, pull that fuel, and put it into the cooling pools. Chernobyl and stuff like that was a reactor. Those were steam explosions. All right, so we have the ability on hand to generate enough water for a few days, if everything was to shut down, to get those reactors, those fuel rods out, put them in the pool. Now here's the big threat. Without circulating water in these pools, those fuel rods heat up. Like I said, it's like 30-degree Fahrenheit temperature, so it's refrigerated water. Without the ability to keep circulating cold water in those pools, those fuel rods will heat up and boil off the water. Now, when that happens and they are exposed to oxygen, they will catch fire. Now, during that process, they will also be producing hydrogen gas. With hydrogen gas, you can have an explosion. Now, this is not an explosion as far as a nuclear explosion, like the big fireball. Most of these would be debris from the shell of the building from the explosion, debris slung out everywhere, so that's radioactive material. The biggest threat, though, is the steam and gases that are released. The steam and gases have been irradiated, all right? Now, there will be iodine, there'll be all kinds of different types of radioactive material in this. I believe iodine is C1 is one of the top two. The C1 is the burns, the radiation poisoning, that is the really nasty one. And the iodine radiation is the one that attacks your thyroid, that there develops cancer over time. All right, so in an event, localized power outages are not going to cause this thing to go off. Coronal mass ejection, an EMP, something that knocks down the grid for a long period of time where it becomes impossible to transport or manufacture fuel, that's where the issue is going to be. Alright guys, I apologize for the rain noise. I can't help that, it's raining. Alright, so with Chernobyl, they gave a 19-mile radius around the area of the nuclear facility. The problem is that I've got a rabbit that is attacking my green screen. Get over there. The problem is that the debris and stuff went much further. All right, they had reports of Ukraine, Belarus, Russia. Some had even tested for in Scandinavia and Europe. This stuff went everywhere. This was one of the major events, a nuclear reactor that burned for a day and a half before it even was reported as an accident. Tons of material was released. Now, if all these were released, it's pretty much a done deal. I don't foresee mankind making an irradiated Earth. Is it possible? Maybe. Maybe. I will tell you this much, you won't be seeing irradiated superheroes running around. That's not going to happen. If you are exposed to radiation, you develop cancers. You will die. You're not going to get a fourth arm growing out your forehead and have superpowers. No, you'll be decaying from the inside. All right, so let's clear that up. So on top of being prepared for this, besides evacuation, and again, if it's a grid down, you know it's going to be down a while, get your family out of there. All right, don't be around that. Move somewhere else. Take the time now. Research where all the nuclear power plants are here in America alone. Thankfully, though, many of these nuclear power plants have contingency plans, okay? If they have a all else fail, they cannot get this thing shut down safely without the explosion from a plant, a meltdown. Most of these nuclear power plants have a plan of flooding the whole area. In other words, they're putting the whole plant underwater. Now, as long as they have current water moving around and flooded the area, it's safer, all right, because it's underwater. The cooling pools that have the spent fuel rods, those are only 75 feet deep. The hydrogen in water works as a barrier from the radiation isotopes. In fact, you can actually walk around these cooling pools without radiation suits. It works as an insulator. So if they flood an area, yes, it will keep it safe. Now, is your home in that flood zone? You might want to take a look at it. Maybe you need to find out what their emergency plan is if they have to shut everything down and flood it. All right, so there are contingency plans, but there are over 95 nuclear reactors in America. Are they all set up this way? You know, quite possibly. Usually they're around a body of water because they have to have water coming in. So will they be able to shut them all down and flood them if necessary? That is where you run into human error. There has been many accidents with nuclear power. One accident is one too many in my book, but there have been a few. Human error will happen. Mechanical systems do break down. So I would not put all my trust in that, oh, they're going to take care of it by flooding everything. So you need to have plans. Will they get a bunch of them? Yeah, I think so. Will they get them all? I don't believe so. I don't think they'll be able to flood every single one of them out and keep the country safe. Now, with that in mind, how do you prepare? Well, get out of the area. What should you be preparing? All right, so we carry IOSAT tablets for nuclear situations. IOSAT tablets help protect the thyroid from the iodine radiate isotopes. But now there's a much deadlier one that's out there that is not going to do anything for it. This is just so we can travel through an area that might be radiation exposure in the area, something like that. You can get those if you want to. Is it going to save your life? No, it'll just protect your thyroid from developing thyroid cancer in a radioactive area. If there's radioactive stuff there, you don't need to be there. You're going to get sick without the correct suits. All right, so if you want to get a suit, hey, go ahead. Get ready to spend about $400. All right, next up is food. Same prep foods that we always get, guys. Canned goods, dry goods, long-term food storage, whatever. It's good. Okay, radiation from this is different than nuclear fallout from a nuclear bomb. Nuclear fallout, you just wash off your cans and stuff like that, you're good to go. As long as your canned goods and stuff are in your home and you weren't in that initial area that was irradiated from a blast, from a meltdown, your stuff's good, okay? You want to try to remember which way the wind's blowing. Absolutely. You don't want to be stationed somewhere 6 months down the road and some radiation clouds come rolling in on you. I don't know how long radiation cloud will keep up. Will it dissipate over time? Yeah, of course it will. How long does it take? It just depends on how much radioactive material is there. Was it raining? Rain will definitely bring down stuff into the ground. All right. So in short, preparedness for a meltdown is evacuation. Use your smarts. So, all right, so let's say that you evacuated and nothing happened. All right, well, you just took a vacation. But don't evacuate just because your power goes out for a day. They have systems in place to take care of that for a while, all right? I would say 2 weeks, no problem. All right, and that's with a major power outage as far as a coronal mass ejection and a EMP. A normal power failure, no problem. They can drive down the road, fill up a gas jug, and come back. No big deal. They got contingencies for that. So, my tip, evacuation. All right, guys, y'all take care. Speak to y'all later.